Good evening. I'm going to go ahead and call the Revere Cultural Council meeting to order. If you guys don't mind standing and saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Savannah Carlson.
Here.
Rocky Graziano.
Here.
I'm Lonnie Stevens. Samantha Harrington and Joe Heofitz should be joining us just a little bit later. Just to go through our topics for discussion for tonight, we're going to be discussing the fiscal year 25 grant proposals. In this meeting, we're just going to simply go over a yes, a maybe, or a partial, and then a no. So within each of the 31 applications that we've received, we'll just be discussing if we will be granting the full amount or possibly a partial amount. We won't go into the details of how much that is. And then after that, I think that we just have one quick Revere Beach, Miss Revere Beach update for our proposal, and then we'll go ahead and open it up to the public.
Okay, so to start with the applications we received 31 applications, and the total amount requested of all 31 of those was $189,295. And Lonnie, how much money are we allocating for 25?
So the amount, are you asking about the amount available for granting?
Yes.
The amount that we have available for granting is $112,016.
Fabulous. Okay, so what we'll do is we will go through each application and discuss the project overview, and then the members of the Cultural Council will give their thoughts on each application. So for our first application, let's see here.
Please excuse my lateness. Beachmont is a mess right now.
Okay, this is for a project titled Ramadan Iftar Dinner, and the project overview is the proposed project for the Revere Ramadan Dinner is a community event aimed at fostering cultural understanding and unity by celebrating Ramadan. It will bring together diverse groups, including Muslim residents and other non-Muslim community members, to share a meal, learn about Ramadan traditions, and promote inclusion. The dinner will provide a platform for dialogue, cultural exchange, and strengthen community bonds in Revere. They have requested an amount of $10,000 towards this, and the estimated number of people served is 200 with this project. Thoughts?
So last year, they did this project. I talked to the person whose idea it was. They did this project, and it was out of pocket. So they did pocket it. Whoever's coming, the planners, paid out of pocket to have this a similar event. A friend of mine did attend this as a Jack Satterhouse, so it's a similar event, so there is a need for it. It was open to the whole community, not just people of Middle Eastern descent or Muslim descent, but it was open to the whole community to go to. So you have that kind of, that's been done before, but not with funding. So they're looking primarily for funding. So the idea of it right now is a great idea. What we have to decide as a committee is also, we have 31 proposals here, is whether, what monies we have for each proposal. Because if we give too much to one proposal, and this is the first proposal, but this is kind of an overview, if we give too much to one, then we don't have as much for the others. So we're kind of looking at that kind of overall budget in the back of our heads. So that's the considerations for this one. I think the idea is good. It's just the amount that we have. Should we get through all the proposals and find that we have maybe excess, then we can go back and reassess if we're going to give a little bit more or a little bit less. But the idea here is not to necessarily discuss the amount, because we have to go through all of them, but whether we're kind of moving forward with these proposals.
So, and correct me if I'm wrong, and this one sounds like a yes, but maybe consideration to the funding, so maybe a partial.
That is correct. So this is one of our more expensive of all our proposals. So if we start out with spending the most expensive, then we don't have as much for the littler one. So it might be one that we come back to, so we all agree that it's a great idea. But we said we want to try and make it so we get the most, we serve the biggest part of the community. And that's the thing. If we put all our programming into one thing, we better make sure that that's the best thing possible, and that number of people is definitely coming.
I think it's a great idea. I think it meets what our priorities are for the year. Same, I think we're not discussing money, so it's a yes for me, but I still think we need to consider what the dollar amount is.
Agreed with partial.
All right. Do you want to go ahead and move on to the next one? Do you want me to read this one?
Oh, Rocky, do you want to do one too?
We can alternate too. We can all take turns so no one gets tired.
This is our second project. It is the Caropia New England, which is a multidisciplinary initiative that seeks to document the global spread of, I apologize for mispronouncing this, I know that I'm mispronouncing this. Capoeira, thank you.
It's a dance and mixed martial arts kind of thing. It's from Brazil.
Okay, thank you.
So we have a large Brazilian population, so hence we're a great place to fund.
Yes, that makes sense. And expand this art form by a capoeira rota performance and a photography exhibit with a specific focus on the New England region encompassing the 6 states within it. This project explores the rich diversity of capoeira practitioners, a fight/dance form known for its intricate movements, symbolism, and rituals, all performed to the rhythm of music in a communal setting. Practiced in over 160 countries, capoeira has become a significant vehicle for promoting the Portuguese language, as its movement and song lyrics are often retained in their original form. This research and documentary project will delve into this art, recognized as Afro-Brazilian, born on Brazilian soil by enslaved Africans, and honored in 2014 by UNESCO as an intangible cultural heritage of humanity.
Once again, it hits on 3 cultural groups. So you have African, Brazilian, and then anybody else who practices it. There are studios in that. Not everybody is aware of what it is because they haven't seen it, or they've seen it and not realized what it was. So it's great to bring that cultural aspect to it. I have seen people practice it, so I think it is a good thing in principle. Once again, we come down to how much they're asking in regards to all of the proposals that we're going through tonight. So we're not voting on money tonight. I would say yes on the proposal in general, but like I said, the money amount, we might not agree on. We might give them more, we might give them less. The other consideration on this one is they said they're documenting it. So it's if any project, the documentation, does it serve our community in large, or is it serving their community purposes in large? So they could document it, have 0 people see it, and still use that product to do something. So the key thing is to evaluate before the program, after the program. That would be my consideration of it. And like I said, that's it.
I would like further clarification, actually, from this applicant. The location where the project is taking place is in Hyannis, and at the Hyannis Cordial Eye Gallery as well, and it also says other venues. I would like to know if they have a venue within Revere in mind that they would like to perform this capoeira. I understand that we do have a large Brazilian demographic. However, I want to make sure that any monies we allocate go directly to Revere residents and are going to impact the city of Revere before we head down to the Cape. So I would like clarification from the applicant.
Ditto on that. Like I said, how willing are they to just do something? So maybe it might be the sandcastle contest or something, show us a little bit of it, and then refer to it. But the big thing is, it would be nicer to have something in the community than to pay for something that's going to be taking place outside of the community. We discussed that kind of issue last year as well. So anybody can get on YouTube and look at it, up what it is, or see it. We want some live action kind of things, and bringing that experience to the community where community members can identify with it in person and say, yes, I remember that. I remember Nana used to dance capoeira or wherever. We want that personal connection as opposed to that distancing with the blinders on and just, I could look up that on my phone. Why are you paying X amount of dollars for programming out of Revere? Some will work, some won't work. We'll find out.
I'm on board with the project. I think it meets, again, everything that I looked through was, does it meet the priorities? The one that's missing here is it going to impact Revere? So I'd be on board with partial. It looks like, because there's a budget here, and then they asked for significantly less than what the budget is, so I'm assuming they're asking other cultural councils or getting funding somewhere else. I would entertain a partial, but if they're not going to be benefiting this community regardless of the demographic, then this would be deprioritized for me for the other projects that are impacting Revere in general or presented by Revere residents.
I had the same thoughts as you two, or as all of us. I think that it was a little bit concerning that they didn't have a project location in Revere, and it seems like they have fleshed out project locations at other places. So I think until they would be able to produce a Revere location, this would actually be a no for me until they were able to produce a Revere location. I do think that it's a great project, but I just think with our limited funding, this was, like Rocky said, one of my lower priorities.
I do remind the council that we do have a lot of dance studios in Revere, so they might host something like this. So this grant organization could approach one of them. We'd give the funding. We'd put a banner out or something, or advertise, or somebody would advertise that it's in one of these dance studios. It gives more attention to that dance studio in Revere, and, it also gives them more attention to their program. Maybe somebody will sign up. Maybe they'll have a program in Revere where people can learn it personally. So that's also what we're looking for, extensions of these programs, not just we give you money, you do one program. We're looking also at some programs that might be here every year, or set up base or set up shop here. As new people come in, they can also partake in these events.
Are we moving to the next one? All right,
Yes, we'll email this applicant for clarification.
excellent. All right, looks like we're getting all of the large requests up front. So the next one is from the Boston Dialogue Foundation Incorporated. They are asking for $65,000 for a project entitled Global Harmony, a Multicultural Summer Academy. The project aims to provide attendees with a comprehensive and engaging educational experience. Primary goal is to spark a passion for learning while broadening their cultural awareness. Beyond traditional classroom activities, we will offer a variety of club options, including dance, music, technology, and language. These clubs act as a gateway to deeper cultural understanding. Through dance, attendees will explore the rich traditions of various cultures, gaining insights into their histories and customs. Music activities will foster creativity and an appreciation for the artistic contributions of different societies. In summary, our project not only makes learning fun, but also enhances attendees' cultural knowledge through diverse club activities, helping them develop a wider perspective on the world. This is a Revere resident or a nonprofit that is based out of Revere. I do want to draw the council's attention to the full, I don't know if we're looking at the spreadsheet, but I'm also looking at the project overview itself in the portal. And there was a couple of things I just wanted to make note of as I was taking a look at it. I think the project is aiming to provide, the target audience was not listed in that blurb that I read, so I do want to read it out loud. The specific individuals we are hoping to attract are K through 5 students who are first-generation immigrants from a variety of cultural backgrounds and represent different economic classes, including those from lower-income families. I'll start. I think it meets all of our mission and goals, right? I think the sticker shock is the dollar amount. I do want to draw the council's attention again. They do have a very detailed budget if you go into the document, they've broken everything down. I have some questions, in particular, the salary, fees, and administration. I think whenever we go to a nonprofit, that's the first thing that I look at, and that makes up 50% of what the ask is, so I would need some clarification as to what that consists of. Who are these people? Why is this, I'm not gonna say why is the salary so high, because everyone deserves to be paid, but what are we paying for, I guess would be my question. But other than that, I think that the mission and the target audience all meet our priorities for 2025.
I agree with you, Rocky, and getting clarification on the teachers and the educators, I would agree with, yes. My other concern is the number of youths it's serving is 100. So it's $65,000 to serve 100 youths in Revere. However, they're asking for a $20,000 travel and transportation budget. Is that to bus the kids from Revere to the program? I would like clarification on that as well. Or are we also busing in other children of that 100 from other communities?
I also had a question about that because I think that the 100 was the number of people that were served, and it served 50 youths. So, I'm not sure who the other 50 are in this case. I don't know if they did highlight that.
Question for protocol, as this is my first season. Do we invite some of these individuals to come for our next meeting and maybe they could answer some of these questions live? Is that something that we've done in the past? Because I think reading it, there is a lot of information here, but when you don't have the context, we're looking at it at face value, and I'm sure the person might be able to answer some of these questions for us that we have. I think we have a lot because it's a big ask, and
Right.
it is a great project, but we want to make sure that that's a huge portion of what we have available.
Last year, we did not have any of our clarification applicants attend a meeting. However, I think that's a great idea. And in emailing for clarification, we can invite them to the next meeting to discuss. I know our next meeting is to allocate the monies. So if we could get clarification via email and then they could come in also discuss, that would be preferable.
The other thing that we can get them to do in chambers or wherever we're discussing it is to amend their proposal in front of us. So instead of spending time, email, well, we want 7,000, 5,000, and trying to do a bargain overline, they can say, well, and we'd all hear the proposal. It wouldn't go to Lonnie, it wouldn't go to one person, and they wouldn't have to distill it to 3 more people. It's all in chambers, we'd hear it, and the public would hear it if we're videotaping it. This is one of our goals, I agree with everybody, to serve school children. Revere has several elementary schools or several groups that could fall into this, so then we'd have to decide, well, what are we going to choose? 4 from this school, 5 from this school, 10 from this school, all from this school? The other consideration is, and I can say a disclaimer here, I was a teacher for 35 years. My sister is a teacher right now. Everybody deserves a salary, you're right. But the average teaching salary starts at that amount, and we're looking for a program, that's not giving a starter teaching salary for one day or 1 week of programming, because teachers are struggling enough to get their yearly salaries now. So I would be open to this program if we had a little bit more explanation, and also we avoided the sticker shock. This is one of those proposals I cannot say yes to if it's going to have this price tag on it. It's not my bottom line. Like I said, some of these have a great idea, but the sticker shop is up. Maybe they're looking to get $40,000, but they put $65,000 there, thinking, hey, we're going to get this bargaining thing. Sometimes people, when they write the proposals, shoot high to get low. Sometimes they start low and they get a little bit higher, but that's part of bargaining it out. This is like almost out of our price range, or if we decide as a council that this is the number one program of all the programs, once again, it takes away from all the other funding that we do, because that's going to be a huge, huge chunk. And we're looking to do as much program and serve as many people as possible in Revere. That's the ultimate goal.
So we will ask for clarification from the applicant, and we will move on to application number 4. Let's see. This application is from the city of Revere, and the project information is for the Revere Beach LGBTQ Pride Celebration to take place in Waterfront Square in Revere to serve approximately 2,000 people. The Revere Beach Pride Celebration is an inclusive, vibrant, and community-centered event designed to honor and celebrate Pride Month in June, bringing together the LGBTQIA+ community, supporters, allies, and local residents. The event will take place on Revere Beach at Waterfront Square, where diversity is celebrated and everyone is encouraged to celebrate. The area adjacent to Wonderland T Station and accessible to all. Attendees will have the opportunity to visit LGBTQ+ tables, providing resources, support, and educational materials on topics such as mental health, legal assistance, and healthcare. There will be music and dance performances and celebration of self-expression. This celebration aims to create a welcoming space for all through the blend of arts, culture, and local engagement.
I think this is an excellent idea for programming. I think Steve Marabito started the first programming for the LGBTQ community within a couple of years ago. So it's a kind of a budding program. It's a budding in the school system too, because schools are embracing now the LGBTQ community. When I was a kid, they did not embrace it. Some people are reluctant. I will say that other communities have similar celebrations. Boston has it, East Boston has it, and some other smaller communities have it. I think Salem has it, or some sort of semblance of celebration. Is it just for that community to celebrate that day? No. Like I said, it's also an educational purpose, serves educational purposes. And that community itself is built on a spectrum. There's different types of people who embrace it. There's people who are just starting out into the LGBTQ community, and there are people who've been it all their life. So it does bring a diverse group of people out, and it does educate a lot of people, which is our mission statement. Once again, it's the price, like we said, we're reviewing all these proposals right now. Does that seem reasonable to the whole council, and we can just kind of get it off the table right now? Or are we trying to look for a uniform, get through everything, and then allocate from there?
We're going to look through everything before we allocate any money.
It's a yes for me.
It is a yes for me.
I will also say that it is a yes for me too.
Yes for me as well.
I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna highlight this one in green then, if that's okay. Okay.
Yes.
And then I'm also going to move on to the next one. This is from Lauren Buck, who runs the Revere Beach Farmers Market. This event is supposed to take place also at Waterfront Square in Revere. The Revere Beach Farmers Market had its inaugural season during the summer of 2024 with the help of the fiscal year 24 Cultural Council grant. We hope to expand and increase services for summer of 2025 with the help of fiscal year 25 Cultural Council grant yet again. We will continue to prioritize accessibility, cultural representation, and healthy food options. The Revere Beach location proved to have increased foot traffic for our vendors, increased accessibility by being close to the T-stop, and culturally appropriate healthy options located very close to the diverse Shirley Ave neighborhood. We want to expand our local minority-owned culturally representative produce and food vendors for summer of 2025. We hope to increase our focus on SNAP, HIP, senior, and WID vouchers recipients to ensure our most vulnerable and marginalized community members can enjoy and participate in the market. And they were asking for $8,200, which appears to be the cost of the total project.
It's a yes for me.
It is a yes for me. I did want to bring out, I kind of put the name or title, I put this farmer's market. Each community around us has a farmer's market. Swampscott has one, Marblehead has one, Winthrop has one. Farmers markets are an opportunity for outside vendors to come in. That's a caveat. We don't want too many farms from outside or something. We do have that dietary thing, so it does introduce new foods to everybody. That is a great thing. The other thing about the farmer's market is it brings music. We usually get acoustic stuff or something, so there's music there. It's a good opportunity for kids to learn price, so you have a lot of organic things there, so price points, so you have economic lesson there. And it's also been moving from area to area. So it was in front of the City Hall, and now it's moved down towards the beach, so we get a different part of the community that's organized. We also get to highlight possibly the community gardens that are in Revere right now. I believe there are 2 of them. There's one at the Garfield School, and I believe there's another school, or somebody mentioned to, by one of the other schools. And the produce that's produced there is brought out, so we can teach kids economics, so they can pick like the cucumbers or tomatoes that are in there from the Garfield School, and then the kids could set up a table for produce. So I think it's an excellent idea. Like I said, this is one a yes for me.
I second that.
So this one sounds like it's a yes. Savannah, I don't know if you want to add anything else to that, or?
I just want to point out that in the breakdown of the budget, they have listed under the description for $5,500 of the requested $8,200 that it's for culturally appropriate entertainment, including local musicians and community entertainment groups. And the rest of the budget breakdown includes advertising. So it's a yes for me that the majority of this funding is going towards musicians and art and yeah.
Yeah. This one was also a yes for me. I think that the selling point here was that it really, I think that it focuses in on marginalized communities. And I think that they really highlighted that, like talking about the diverse Shirley Ave, and also the fact that they were hoping to increase the focus on lots of different food programs.
The other thing about this is location, location, location. This is a location that's accessible by anybody from the Wonderland T-Stop. So you can come from any point in or out and get there. If you're disabled, it's got wheelchair ramps, it's got elevators, everything is there. We have the whole big setting over there of apartments and everything that just kind of built up. There's got to be at least 1,000, several thousand people that are going to be moving into those communities. I don't know how many new Revere residents, but it's all those new Revere residents. That's the high end, and you also have the low end that's coming in to learn. So it serves all demographic or all wallets per se. Anybody can go there. Anybody who goes to the beach can also go to the farmer's market, and it'll be very visible, or even just listen to the music. It's a central location. It's accessible. I think it's a great idea.
All right, on to the next. Okay, so we are looking at application number 6, and this was submitted by the City of Revere Recreation Department. It is entitled City of Revere Sunday Night Concert Series, which I believe they did last year too. And this would take place right next door at the American Legion, or at City Hall where we are. The proposed project is a weekly music concert series aimed at enriching our community's cultural landscape by offering a diverse range of live music performances. This series will feature local artists, emerging talent, and established musicians across various genres, promoting artistic expression and community engagement. The music concert series will provide accessible live music experiences that reflect the community's diverse musical heritage, support local musicians, and foster a sense of community by bringing people together through their shared musical experiences. They are asking for $7,000, which is also their total expense. Again, I think it meets the mission and the priorities that we have for 2025. It's local. I think my one, and spoiler alert to those of you out there in TV land, we have a lot of musician or musical-based options here. So I think that's the only thing that I'd want the council to consider. Like if we're looking at diverse range of projects there are quite a few music, just like we just talked about, Savannah, right? There's music going to be at the farmer's market. So I just want to call that out. I think it's a great project. I think the budget falls in line with what we're probably able to do. But I just want to throw that consideration out that we have a lot of other musical performances or musical asks.
I fully support this application. Throwback, but this started when I was 14 and worked for the recreation department 23 years ago.
Love it.
And it's been happening ever since, and it thrives. And if anyone has had the privilege to attend a Sunday concert series next door, you will see it is jam-packed with all the community. It's wonderful, and people from outside the community. I fully support this. I do want to point out in the budget for this project that $6,000 of the $7,000 is allocated towards the performers and the bands, and then there's $1,000 towards administrative fees for running this. So I just also want to point that out.
Well, first of all, that answers your question, Rocky. Yes, this was a program that's been done last year. What has happened? What has changed? The funding source there has changed. So maybe by getting a little funding from us, they can thrive a little bit longer and put some of their monies to other programming that they do. You have to understand that a lot of these places in Revere that apply for this money are just kind of strapped for cash right now in this economy, and they're trying to diversify their programming to attract more members or to their programming. I think it's a great idea. And to answer your question, Rocky, no, you cannot have enough music. Music saved a lot of souls during COVID. Think about how many times you have your earbuds in and you're listening to your music and you're shutting the world out. Not you particularly, but just as a metaphor on that. Music, you can listen to it when you're sad, you can listen to it when it's happy. It brings a collective spirit to an organization. It brings a collective spirit to a room. Everybody is united in song or tapping their feet or clapping their hands. Every community has musical activities attached to them in some way, whether it become the drama club, it could be attached as a musical there, it could be a farmer's market, it can be anywhere. You can never have enough music. Music stimulates the brain. Music stimulates creativity. I can't say enough about music. I think it's a great idea. Let's keep the music in our community. And the other thing I want to say is that if you were looking for music in our community on a regular basis, if you came from outside of Revere, there's not too many venues that have live music in Revere. There's not many opportunities to listen to live music in Revere except at certain times of the year. So in the summertime, at the Sandcastle contest, you're going to get a lot of music. This is a program that might happen at a different time of the year, so you're exposing music at a different time of year than people normally have accessibility to that musical format. So it can never be enough if you spread it out long enough in different places. Thank you.
So are we feeling more of a yes for this one or a partial? It sounds like a yes.
It's a yes.
It's a yes.
Okay.
I just wanted to call out that I'm not hating on music. For those of you out there, I don't need any hate mail in my messages. Is that as we're, right? Because let's just be real. That's not what I said. I think what I'm calling out is that there are a lot of applicants here, and I do want us to make sure that we're looking at some of the other options that may, yes, I love music. I walk the beach every day listening to it. So it is really important. I just want to call out, we had a few in a row, that we're also giving consideration to some of the less popular art forms that we have listed here.
Once again, we're not attacking anybody on this community or this council. This council is to bring out new ideas and things to everybody. So we're in acceptance, so we're not kind of attacking Rocky saying, well, I only listen to music in February or once a week or anything like that. Don't take the context. We're not trying to do that. We like the proposal. Just because we turn a proposal down, it's not necessarily because of the group that's sponsoring it. We just don't have the money or we don't accept it, but we're a council of acceptance. So we're not doing it for any reason, the color of your skin or the type of music. We're looking at the overall feasibility of it. And we're looking at a lot of factors, not just one. And we're a council, that's why. If we weren't a council and we didn't talk these things out, we'd be deliberating one and people would be questioning that one person. So this is why we can talk these out in chambers. This is why we are televised before a live audience, if anybody's watching, so they can hear that we are deliberating. We're not just deliberating in our heads, we're deliberating for you. So if you had any questions before we kind of pounded the gavel, we welcome you. We welcome your input. Come and witness us.
If I can just add something really quickly. So I think in the past, when we've gone through this process, I know that, everybody loves music. I think that an important consideration is the budget, and obviously we do have a finite budget. We do have a limited number of grants that we can give. So I think something in the past that's worked well is going through with a yes, no, or maybe, and maybe not focusing on the budget as much now because you'll get really in the weeds. Yeah. And we just want to prioritize, I think, getting through this long list, which is wonderful, and we're so lucky to have so many applicants.
And once again, we're here as long as to get through this list. So we're not going to cut it short and then not go through everybody so the bottom of the people don't even get consideration. We're here to get through this whole list of proposals that we have.
Well, I do think we have a 9 o'clock cutoff, so I just want to call that out. So I think
Yeah.
we all said yes, so let's move on to number 7.
That's me, right? All right, here we go. Application number 7, Ethnic Arts Center of Somerville put in this application. The project information is requesting $5,000, and the project title is called Our Revere Legacy, Talking Family and Ethnic Heritage Puppet Set. This is set to take place at 2 of the Head Start Head Start sites in Revere on Rose Street and then the Irene O'Connell Center. So the overview of this project, Our Revere Legacy, Talking Family and Ethnic Heritage Puppet Set is a rare and powerful local history experience for preschoolers, their families, and clan, which will strengthen family and ethnic identity with lifelong effects. Children will construct, animate, and perform paper bag puppets representing each members of their family, guided by staff, mentored in puppetry via live-action tutorial videos, guide sheets, bilingual family interview, and ethnic recycled forms. Participants will plan, script, construct, animate, and perform their family sets using recycled paper bags. The culminating performance to family and clan will solidify their family, integrational bonds, still esteem, confidence, respect, and inclusion.
Unfortunately, I gave this proposal a no. By the nature of it, paper bag puppets, I questioned whether this would be done in a library or in a school system, something similar. Not the same. Of course, all these proposals could be similar or same to anything that happens in school. And then the price tag associated with it, too, seemed high for paper bag puppetry. It's not that I'm not a fan of puppetry. I know some people who travel the state in puppetry, and they do all kinds of presentations. It's just the nature of all the proposals. Given all the proposals, I think that this one is less formulated than some of the other ones. I gave it a no.
I'm going to jump in on this one too. When I was reading the budget, it was saying that they're creating live action tutorial videos and that this is done over Skype. I don't know if I misunderstood that, but that's how I took this. It says the performance is Zoom or Skype with the EAC. So that being said, I think that the council has a priority on live events versus virtual events.
I agree with you, Lonnie. I did read it as that as well, that they would create videos and then they would have the educators at Head Start show those videos to the children who are at the program and facilitate it that way.
I think with the priority to live action events, I think we can, I'll be a no as well, and then we can move on to number 8.
The other thing is the number of people served. So for the price tag and the number of people served, it didn't quite match up. We're looking for the best price tag with the number of people served. This is a smaller amount of people served, so I'm looking into that consideration as well. There might be a large video audience or Skype audience, but I've never been a big fan of Skype and Zoom audiences. You never know how active or passive that audience is.
So it sounds like the majority of us do agree that this is a no, so I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna move on to application 8. This was at the Immaculate Conception Church, specifically in the gym. For the project description, I didn't see anything there, but then when I go to the project overview, I was able to find something. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and read that. It says, Mr. Rob Surratt will present his grand speed painting performance, amazing hero art designed to reach deep into kids' minds and hearts and strengthen their social and emotional learning with the strong messages of resilience, kindness, diversity, equity, inclusion, self-belief and self-esteem, following one's heart, chasing after your dreams, being all you can be. The target audience would be students in kindergarten through grade 8 from Revere and in surrounding communities. And I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna stop there. And I believe, I'm just gonna mention that they were requesting $2,306.
I was unclear as what we're painting. This may or may not be the artist that I'm conceiving doing this. He goes around schools all over the place. He does portraits of like Lincoln's head or Mother Teresa's head or Gandhi's head. I gave this a no because I'm looking at the limited audience. This is definitely targeted just to the Immaculate Conception community. It doesn't say where the final product will be hanging. So that's a big consideration. If it's hanging in Immaculate Conception and everybody can go into Immaculate Conception, great. But if he's just making a product and taking it away with it, it's not fully served. Art is served by everybody looking at it. So that was my consideration for this. I'd like to see wider scopes or as opposed to narrower scopes and that's, so I gave that a no.
I'm actually giving this one a yes. We have many applicants for school field trips. And it's serving significantly less than this is serving, which is serving the whole entire school at the Immaculate Conception as opposed to one classroom for a couple of our other field trips. I would consider, if we don't do a full for this, a partial, but this is on my yes list.
It's also on my yes list. I think his credentials are pretty impressive. If you look forward, I mean, I've checked his website. He's done art for Disney, DC Comics, Star Wars, all kinds of other things are listed here. I like that it was an exact budget, so clearly they had to think through it as exactly what they needed. So $2,306 is pretty on the nose, so they're not asking for too much. And I think, Savannah, to your point, one of the things that I noticed as well is there are a lot of schools that are asking for, and there are a couple of schools in particular asking for multiple field trips. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not sure if this might be the only one that the school submitted, at least that I can recall. And
That's
I looked
correct.
I looked at this a month ago, so who knows? But there were some schools that asked for like maybe smaller amounts, but more in total because they've asked for multiple field trips. So I'd be interested in entertaining this one, whether it be partial or full.
That's the same. I could change my thing to partial if I had a little bit more information and we see what else we've kind of put down, what schools. The Immaculate Conception typically is, I don't know if that's public or private, but
It's a private school.
it's a private school. So we have public and private, so that kind of makes another little boundary or little kind of things. Is our mission statement as a thing, are we going to give to private organizations? Or are we giving to the public? that is kind of, is always going to weigh in my mind. So it's not just, the kids can learn from an experience anyway. I support schools, whether they're public or private, but it's going to come to how many proposals do we have for private, how many for public? Are we willing to give one to private and all the rest to public, or are we going to do all public? That's kind of the things that are weighing that partiality or no behind my thinking.
Well, his organization is listed as a nonprofit as well. It's not an individual private organization.
I also think that where it's benefiting the youth too, I don't think that we specify it's benefiting the public youth. I think that it is benefiting the youth, which I think that this would still be within our guidelines. That this was actually a maybe for me personally, and it kind of sounds like we're debating back and forth, so I'm gonna list this one in yellow. The reason that it was a maybe for me is just, I've seen, the way that it sounds like it's done is he's doing the artwork, and it sounds like he does incredible artwork. I guess I've seen artwork done in schools where it's more student-centered, and the students are the ones that are creating it, and I feel like that appears to be more impactful, but I also do think that this is a great opportunity. So it sounds like a maybe from all of us.
Yes, this is a story-based thing, so as he does the brush stroke, he might be saying something about freedoms. He might be saying something, that's the kind of painting it is. It's not just him, hey kids, watch me paint.
Okay, that makes sense.
I think we just need clarification on where the painting is gonna live after it is completed. Is it gonna stay with the school and the public, or does it go back with the applicant? Where
And
does
he's
it go?
also, sorry to interrupt, he's also, seems like he's fairly well established in an art world, so does this include like a meet and greet? I don't know, is there some other part of this besides the presentation? You know, I'm thinking more along, like, is it like a book signing where like somebody reads an excerpt and then you get to meet them and you get something that you walk away with? Maybe that's a question we could ask too, like, will he spend time with each one or give them a little something or sign something or what have you?
Rocky, I think it's your turn.
Go ahead.
Okay, welcome back, friends. All right, so application number 9 comes from Peter Jackson of Gloucester, Massachusetts. It says, it's entitled Community Magic Show. My funny show is packed full of fun, magical effects, and is designed to be enjoyed by children and adults. Using audience participation as much as possible to get everyone involved. You can expect lots of good photo opportunities. The Magic Bunny even does a trick or two. Everyone will have a great time. There is magic comedy prizes and candy. The show runs about 60 minutes, including a meet and greet with the Magic Bunny. There is additional documentation in there. The budget is $300. The budget and the ask is $300, and it looks like it's just a salary for the magician. This was a no for me.
The price point is reasonable. Magic is a dying kind of thing. $200 for a musician or a magician or any kind of artist is not a lot in the grand scheme of things if that's how you're making your living. Every artist that comes to a town or something is going to command a salary. So that the money is not the issue. It's a question also, this is a maybe for me, what makes us different from us kind of going out and getting another magician? So he had the smarts to apply for it. You can go into any phone book. I know some magicians myself and get them for a party, whatever. This is something that you could possibly shop around if you wanted to. So that's kind of why I'm on the fence about this. If we had money left over for a magician at the library, that's a great program instead of having the library come up with $300 on their own to sponsor the magician. So a magician itself is great, is great. It's just, do we have the funding with all the other programming, the quality of the magic? Are the kids going to laugh? Where's it going to be? That's the issues.
This is actually a yes for me. It meets the criteria proposed within our application for arts, and I'll let everyone know that it states, arts refer to the creation of work in the crafts and performing, visual, media, folk, design, literacy, and interdisciplinary arts. The presentation and preservation of and education about works in these disciplines are also included.
So to echo that, I mean, if you were to go around Revere, you're not going to see too many magicians. Maybe somebody in the high school knows a few card tricks or something like that. That's quite possible, but this is an organized kind of program in one place. Doesn't matter where the place is, people will come and see it. People have seen magic forever. Some people say magic is disappearing off the face of the earth, but in fact, you know, it's making a little comeback. So it is kind of a dying art form in a sense. So to echo Savannah's sentiments, it does fulfill the criterion of programming. It's just what programs do we want? Do we have enough for it? I would say after paying out all the ones that we want, $300 could just kind of be at the end. But it would be something like at the end of everything that we get, then we'll decide on it. Thanks. So I said maybe.
Samantha, I didn't know if you wanted to add anything.
I was also in the maybe camp. I think that it would be worthwhile to revisit depending on how the rest of our decisions on applications go.
Am I good to move on to the next one? Okay. So this is application number 10, submitted by the James Garfield Elementary School. And the requested amount is $4,500 for a project titled African Arts and Education, which will happen at the Garfield School. It's estimated to serve 600 youths from grades pre-K to 12 while in school. And a summary of this project: this initiative seeks to bring an African dance and drumming class to the Garfield Elementary School in Revere over a 2-day period. So it's a 2-day event. This event is facilitated by Crocodile River Music and seeks to foster an enriching cultural experience that will enhance the students' educational journey. Students will participate in African drumming or dance class taught by professional artists. They will also be able to attend a concert featuring African music. By introducing the rhythms and expressive movements of African arts, the program seeks to cultivate an appreciation for diverse cultural heritages, thereby broadening the students' perspectives and promoting inclusivity. Furthermore, exposure to African culture can enrich the students' understanding of history, promote multicultural awareness, and enhance cognitive development through the integration of music, rhythm, and storytelling. For me, this is a yes, and it is my understanding, and I will reach out to the school committee for clarification, but the Revere Public Schools don't have funding for field trips anymore. So again, I'll reach out for clarification, but given that, I would absolutely fund this project.
It's a yes for me, too.
It is a yes for me too, and I would like to remind everybody that we did do a similar program. That's a caveat. We did do a similar program last time that we voted. It is a major part of our community, our expanding community, the African American experience. This is not just open necessarily just to students. There might be a few parents that come in, or there might be some paraprofessionals or volunteers that are also involved in this. This is one of the things that Rocky said too. Well, we have a lot of music programs. This is one that I think is beneficial from being a teacher in a school. If I were a teacher in the school and they were voting on it, I'd vote for the same as this committee would be. I would say yes.
Okay, so this one sounds like a yes. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and move on to application 11. Application 11 is from musicdance.edu. This is, the project event name is Hip Hop Chair Dance for Seniors, a dance series. It's taking place at the it's taking place at the Prospect House, the Lighthouse Nursing Home, and the Mystic Valley Elder Services. It's set to take place October 2024. So it looks like this has already happened. Maybe I could be wrong, but I think that this has already happened. They're proposing a dance series, which is 3 classes. The dance class is about an hour. Elders do a complete chair dance, warm-up, and a hip-hop class that begins and ends in chairs. They travel through time on the Soul Train and chair dance to clean cut hip-hop and R&B songs. They use creative props such as smiley faces and the African maracas to help make our Soul Train journey come to life. Senior participants will leave feeling more limber. all aboard the Hip Hop Soul Train Express. They're asking for $500. The total project expense is $600. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna say a yes for this one. I think that we have funded this in the past, and I think that it's been a great turnout from my understanding. I feel like I've seen pictures on Instagram before, and it looked like a lot of fun. I wish that I could maybe attend. I don't know if I would be allowed, though.
To answer Lonnie's question, yes, we have funded this in the past. The whole thing is it works on many levels. First of all, seniors did not grow up with hip hop, so it's kind of introducing them to a new form of music. They might have grown up in the 20s, 30s, 40s, whatever, but hip hop is not in their vocabulary. Gets them moving, which is key in old age homes. Movement is part of the old age home program. If you're stagnant, you're dying. That's the bottom line in old. You don't want to just sit in one place. You want to be stimulated still. Stimulus is a big thing. And then they have something to bond with a younger generation. So maybe it's their grandchild who comes and visits them and they talk about hip hop after the program. It's not just the program itself, it's a kind of after wave and aftermath too. The price tag is right on this one. So I'm giving it a yes as well.
I'm also a yes.
This one sounds like a yes. Just a time check for everyone. We do have about an hour left reserved in the chambers. I know that a couple council members do have responsibilities, so if you do need to step out, I understand.
I can go through 9. I just think maybe we can speed up a bit.
So yes, we can speed up again. We'll say yes or no. If somebody says no and it seems an overwhelming no and someone has an overwhelming opinion, then we'll expand our opinion. So no or yes after reading it.
It's me next, yes? I believe this is the same, this is coming from the same grant proposer as the one before, so I think we're going to have a similar reaction to it. I'll spoil the movie. This was a yes for me, too. Category is, the subject is I Am Autistic, I Am Fantastic, the musical, and it's looking to be done at the Memory Care Unit at the Prospect House here. I Am Autistic, I Am Fantastic, the musical. They're asking for the budget is $680. They're asking for $580. It's presented by the musicdance.edu Youth Performing Arts, using musical instruments, creative music, movement, poetry, and problem-solving activities. This presentation will inspire, uplift, and educate autistic children, families, and the communities at large. In 1970, the Autism Society launched a nationwide effort to promote autism awareness and assure that all affected are able to achieve the highest quality of life. The musical selections in this presentation are inspirational and include contemporary jazz songs, 70s music, soft rock, hip hop, and selections from popular Broadway shows. The presentation is about an hour and includes a 10-minute intermission. Yes.
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 Our next application, number 30.
Question, do we need to disclose relationships or anything for anybody that proposed something? Because I went to high school with her, so I just want to make sure that if I have to disclose that before you read it, do I need to do that?
Rocky disclosure or community disclosure. I've worked with autistic children before for 3 years.
No, I meant the next proposal that Savannah, I personally know the person. Do I?
Sure, you can abstain.
Yeah, so I'm going to abstain from voting.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, I didn't know if that was point of clarification there, Rocky. I didn't know if it was like because we were really involved in it. But yes, on that, if you want to abstain, you have the right to abstain. And the council doesn't inquiry there, it just says abstention.
So our next project, project number 13, was submitted by Regina Oliveri. It is in the amount of $3,000 for the Revere Beach retail pop-up artwork to happen in the spring and summer of 2025, estimated to serve 10,000 people. The summary of the project: Revere Beach Retail is a seasonal retail store that promotes America's first public beach. This pop-up activates Revere Beach Boulevard and supports the local community, development, and tourism. Part of the project will include designing artwork to decorate the 8x10 storage container, which will be placed on Revere Beach Boulevard. The intent of the design is to feature both past and present attributes from Revere Beach, which holds a lot of fond memories for most who have visited this beloved beach. this is a yes for me.
This is a no for me because I needed clarification. The clarification is there was already one pop-up on Revere Beach. It's already painted, so I didn't know if it was a similar project, the same project that was asking for retroactive funds for it. And the other thing is a pop-up. I would like to know what exactly is a pop-up. I've seen many pop-ups in the seaport, so how it contributes or what their product they have in it is, for me, is important. So I said no because I needed clarification. Thank you.
This was granted out in for fiscal year '23. It was granted, she actually received the check in 2024. This one was a maybe for me, personally. I don't think that it's as much of a maybe. I think that it's more so of partial. And I think that the only reason that I say that is I know that we have, I know that in the past we have funded events more than once in a row, or the same person once in a row. I think that, like, for example, the last one, we've funded them before. That was just a little bit of a smaller price tag than this one. Not that this one's a significant amount of money, but it is slightly larger. So this one was a maybe or a partial.
This is also a shared, paired budget. So whose budget does it fall under? Did they receive monies from the other thing? This is the DCR or MDC along the beach does a lot of that area. So is it come out of their budget? Did they, in the past, fund those pop-ups that have been in there?
To clarify, they have to purchase a permit from DCR to have
Correct.
the storage unit there. So it's not anything that's granted out by DCR.
And so I know in the past there has been DCR red tape, and I think that was actually, that could have been the delay last year. I'm not sure if it was this project or another one. But there's a lot of red tape, and there's a lot of hoops and hurdles that you do have to jump through.
Like I said, I'm aware of the hoops and hurdles, but it's like whose jurisdiction, how much of the jurisdiction, because that could be the operating cost is into the permit, not the project. And that's to be questionable, not the location itself, but I need clarification on this project.
But she does itemize in the budget exactly what the monies would be allocated towards. There's a DCR permit fee of $3,000, spray paint and tools $500, social media advertising $500, design and artwork $3,000, transportation for container $1,500, and she's only requesting $3,000. So she's giving us the overview of the budget, and $3,000 of her application will go towards all of this.
One other thing I want to point out, and I'm not going to vote, is that she is at every event that's over there. So she supports Pride, she supports everything. Like that, and she was running, I ran the Pumpkin Dash 5K, she was out there even though that was past what the season was. So I think that, and she's a lifelong she grew up here. So I think that, we could take a look at that, and the products are they're great. I have a lot of them personally, but I think not only is it an ask that is, for the business, but it's also someone that is a huge part of the culture and
But to bring it full circle, she's not asking about, we're not asking about what she's selling. She's creating art on the beach, which is one of our application requirements.
So here's the thing too, is the spacing and everything that these little pop-ups are placed. So she paints the left side and then you got another trailer on that left side, it blocks it. There's a lot of logistical stuff that is yet to be determined based on the DCR and how many other ones that they put up there. Is this the beginning of a pop-up village in which there are going to be 12 trailers, 10 years down the line? So is it an expanded project?
We can't consider that right now. We can only consider the application in front of us.
I think that Sam is going to end up being the tiebreaker here. So Sam, if you want to go ahead and speak.
Yay. I was going to say, can this please be a maybe, and we'll come back to this. It sounds like we're pretty split, and Rocky, I really appreciate your additions. I think that I definitely feel like it's a priority to have Revere residents be a part of the project. And conversely, I think that it's important to have new applicants too. So I feel like it might be beneficial to revisit just to ensure that we have enough dollars. And if there's money left over, then we can reconsider this. But it sounds like a great project.
gonna mark this one in yellow, and it sounds like we can revisit it. Is it my turn? Okay. So, project application 14, this is at the Paul Revere Innovation School. And it looks like they're taking them to the Wheelock Family Theater. We are excited to attend a play at the Wheelock Family Theater based on a community text we read with our fourth graders. Flora and Ulysses by Kate DiCamillo. Excuse me. Students will experience a theater performance, some for the first time. Prior to the trip, we will discuss elements of a live performance and read the book. After the show, we will compare the similarities and differences between the play and the book, working on a key literacy skill. They're asking for $2,050, which is the cost of the project. For me, this was a yes.
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 Maybe.
Yes.
All right, I think we are now on 15, also from the Paul Revere Innovation School. This one is a kindergarten field trip to the North Shore Music Theater production of Curious George and the Golden Meatball. It's a good book. My nephew loves Curious George. So all the kindergarten students at the Paul Revere Innovation School take a field trip to attend a performance of Curious George, the Golden Meatball, at North Shore Music Theater in Beverly. For the majority of our students, it's their first experience with a live theatrical performance. $1975 is what they're at, not $1,975 is what they're asking for. I want to make sure that people hear that. And is also the cost of the project. For me, it's a yes. I mean, but I want to just call out that we're granting 2 field trips for that one school.
They're 2 separate theaters, so one is community-based, one is like a city-based. There's a difference between the theaters, and that's kind of why I was on the fence, or why I was voting maybe. I know where the monies go. I know that those theaters offer great programming, and this is something that is also under consideration. Do we give them 1? Do we give them 2? Is it fair for one school to have all the funding? They applied to it. So it's kind of like a maybe based on that consideration. And it's also theater companies. What's the difference? It weighs out in parents' heads too. A lot of schools are opting for the program to come to them. That sometimes that's bigger budget, or work with the students in the school, or you work with a school out of school. When you do a field trip, the major cost associated with the field trip is for the buses. It does not go to the theater doing it. The theater gets some, but the buses is the main part of the field trip. Could they get to these places if they're going by T? Yes, it might take a little bit longer. There is a Fenway stop by Wheelock, so you can walk right there. Do you want to walk with a group of smaller kids? That puts a different liability or spin into it, but a lot of teachers consider that. So those are kind of considerations, in my mind. Older kids can do a little walk and it gives them fresh air too. But location. Beverly has a lot. It's a surrounding community, has a lot to offer. Boston has a lot to offer. The kids benefit from both programs, but they might need a little more discussion in those extent.
I'm a yes. And I think that when we decide dollar amounts with the grants, we can kind of reconfigure based on one school getting more than one grant. But I'm a yes.
I'm also a yes. It's my turn, okay. This application, number 16, is for a project titled Celebrating Asian Culture, Educational Workshops for Children. The requested amount is $5,000. This project is taking place at the Revere Public Library, or FKO, in Revere. It's estimated to serve 500 youths. So let's see. We're seeking $5,000 to host a comprehensive cultural initiative to celebrate Asian culture and language through interactive festival and storytelling events. These events will be carried out in partnership with the Revere Public Library and for kids only. They are designed to make learning about Asian traditions engaging and accessible for children of all ages and backgrounds. All events will be free to children and their families, encouraging broad community participation. The Lunar New Year Festival is $2,500, and 5 interactive reading sessions will cost $2,500, hence the $5,000 request. This is a yes for me.
It's a yes for me.
It's a yes for me.
I had a few considerations, and one of it, has anybody been to the Revere Public Library and seen their little space that they have for this many people? It's very, very small. The program in itself is a great program, but the space does not warrant the number. It needs a bigger space to get this many people in there. The space size in Revere Public Library, 25 to 50, not 500. That's all I'm saying on that location and that project. The dollar amount, not agreeing, but it's the space that they have available for that programming. Unless it's a program that lasts all day and we're getting an influx of people in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, and out, or they're leaving supplies for those who did not be able to get into the small cramped room that Revere Public Library has.
Just to clarify, in the project overview, it was towards the Lunar Festival and then 5 interactive reading sessions. So I'm viewing this as 6 separate sessions.
That's how I read it as well.
Once again, the space is evaluating not the program, but the space that they're held in or proposing in. How many, people, I mean, this is something for further inquiry, could fit in there. How many children can fit in there during something? They've had similar programs there, and we've had smaller. So it'd be a day by day by day. Could the same kids come back a second day? It's possible. Anybody who's using the library can go in there. Are parents invited to go? They take up more space. So it's all those kind of little tweaking. It's not the program, it's the tweaking of the program that would probably be a consideration. The price tag is right, so it's a maybe for me.
So I think that because like the majority says yes, I think that that would be a yes. So I am going to mark that one as green. I'm going to go to application 17. This is from Mrs. Jennifer Powell, and the sculpture is "You Are Here." Her hopes are to have it preferably in front of our town hall, town center, or public building. And this is a Massachusetts-wide sculpture project marking the 250th anniversary of America, provide pop-up art in every town, and bring people together. That's, I'm assuming, her mission. Sculpture is an oversized map pin like you would find on a kiosk map that says on one side, "You Are Here." The back of each sculpture will be completed by a local artist with a design that the LCC has collaborated on. Each sculpture will be part of an online map so people can visit as many as they want over the course of 2026. You will be able to scan a QR code at each sculpture that highlights the whole project, gives details about the specific area, and directs patrons to other art that is available to see. An added benefit to each LCC to highlight more art and culture. There are 3 sizes of sculptures to choose from. Ideally, towns under 10,000 are 2 feet. It's between 10K and 100K are 4 feet, and over 100K people are 6 feet. The budget attachment has more details.
Yes.
Resounding yes.
Yes.
Okay. Sounds like a yes.
All right, moving right along. We are at number 18, submitted by Tarek Rentisi. And the project is 2025 World Music Concert Series running from May 2025 to November 2025. Location is outdoor parks. Building on the success of the past 3 years and the incredible feedback we received, I'm continuing the World Music Concert Series to celebrate diversity and build community. My goal is to create performance opportunities for marginalized communities in each city we serve, featuring musical styles like flamenco, Japanese, mariachi, global jazz, Native American, Chinese, Celtic, Haitian, Moroccan, and more. The series emphasizes spatial and social justice by showcasing world-class music in underutilized public spaces such as parks and beaches. 3 points are listed. We feature bands that represent music from local communities. Many of these artists who are masters of their cultural traditions. All concerts are free and designed to be accessible to everyone. The initiative aims to bring diverse cultural experiences to the heart of our communities while promoting inclusivity and equity. The budget is $7,800, and the ask is for $7,800. I am a yes.
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 A maybe, as it's serving Melrose.
This one was a partial for me just because the dollar amount is a little bit bigger, but it sounds like it's a yes from the rest of the council.
I'm sorry, is there any chance you can follow up on the Melrose point, because that's pretty crucial?
Right, yeah, if it's not coming to, I mean, when I saw local parks, I assumed that meant that they would have something here, so if they're not, then I would, maybe.
The series celebrates.
Maybe. Same
We all,
on
we go,
Melrose.
we're getting too excited.
Disclosure,
You get money and you get money.
Everyone gets money.
I spent part of my childhood growing up in Melrose.
So just following up really quick on the Melrose point, it's answering the question, how does the proposed project provide benefit and contribute to the cultural vitality of the community as a whole? And like Savannah said, so it's a quote, "The series celebrates Melrose's growing diversity." So, I mean, for me, that makes it a no.
That makes it
because
a no,
it's
too.
not a priority.
That makes it a no for me.
Well, it could have been an oversight too, that they sent this proposal to everybody and the Melrose is in there because someone didn't revise the proposal as well. So maybe they were meaning to do it on Revere. It could be a simple oversight. Maybe someone said, well, that's good enough to say no. Maybe we could look into that. That would be my idea.
I believe that I corresponded with Tirek.
You did. I feel like I noted on my notes that I saw an email.
Yes, I feel like we have funded one of their projects before. So that's.
I echo that. I think we have.
Yeah, I just looked back to my email, we have.
We absolutely need him to clarify whether it's a Melrose initiative or for Revere, because if it is Melrose, we have to fund only Revere projects.
Okay, so I'll list that as a maybe at this time. And we can, once we get clarification, we can
Pending
revisit
further
that.
communication, yes. All right, Savannah, back to you.
All right, we are on application number 19. This is submitted under project titled Soulclore Presents Music Culture Showcase in the amount of $5,000. And it is projected to take place at an art space or venue in Revere to serve 225 people. The overview, Soulcore Productions, created by Nomadic, who was born and resides in Revere, plans to expand on the previous year's program and continue to bring her 20-plus years of entertainment and cultural experience to her hometown with a music and dance celebration that will include a variety of performers. For this one, I put this as a maybe due to there being no venue selected, and there's also a question of the participation, the cost of participation. It was listed as free or small admission fee. I would like clarification on that.
Maybe for me as well, for the exact same reasons. I didn't have enough details.
So if you guys remember, we did fund the similar project last year. Last year, she had requested $500, and I know that she did say that she was hoping to expand it. And I also don't know if you guys remember, but she was somebody that was going back and forth with the venue. She ended up deciding on Spring Hill Suites, so it was a venue that was in Revere. So I don't think the venue was as much of a concern for me. This one was a partial fund for me. I know that she does want to expand it, but the jump from 500 to 5,000 was a little bit steep. So I'm not going to discuss the dollar amount. but yeah.
That is a huge, that's the same exact sentiment. I echo those sentiments. 500 to 5,000, that's a jump.
I think I would consider a partial.
Yeah, I also would consider it a partial. I feel like there are too many details that have not been ironed out yet in the application.
Okay. That being said, we're going to move on to the Revere Arabic community. Their project takes place at the Revere Beachmont School. And the Markim Al Halak School is an educational project designed to provide Arabic language education and cultural enrichment to students age 4 through 14, with a focus on fostering bilingualism and promoting a deep understanding of the Arabic language and culture. Open to all, the school welcomes students from diverse backgrounds and offers instruction in reading, writing, speaking, and calligraphy. Through a comprehensive exploration of Arabic culture, which spans over 20 countries, the school plays a vital role in helping all students, regardless of their heritage, develop a strong connection to the Arabic language and culture. This project, their total expenses were $82,900, and they were requesting $16,000 here.
Once again, this is a sticker shock for me. I gave it a no based on the sticker shock. I have not seen the program in action. The program is actually in action at the Beachmont School. We've been invited to go see that. I just have not had the time just yet because she was here, elaborated on the program last time we met, after session. So I'd like to see it, see what money, so I gave it a maybe, a kind of borderline maybe is the best I can give that right now, because it was one of our bigger proposals or bigger dollar amounts. And it serves a relatively smaller piece of the community. It's expanding part, and it's been out-of-pocket funds before, but like that's the whole consideration for this. So it's existed before, but it hasn't had funding before. But whether it's enough, it's too much funding or enough funding, that's kind of where I am at in that.
I'm a yes for partial, as it's a nonprofit organization that collaborates with the school for cultural resources.
I'm on board for a partial. Looking at the plan, the project budget, it seems like that amount would pay for the rental for the school. So if that's where it's going for, I could get on board with that.
Once again, this is not education that is provided in the Revere Public School systems. Some of our proposals are directly from Revere schools. This is a school, it's kind of a sub-school or subcontracted school. They're renting the space, so they're providing something that's not typically in the Revere schools yet. So it is a progressive thing. Maybe it'll be incorporated eventually into Revere Public Schools as something that you take. So it's emerging. It's a great thing to get involved in. It's just the extent of our involvement in it.
All right, Rocky, it's your turn.
Is lucky number 21. This is from the Revere Human Rights Commission. And it is the Revere Human Rights Commission Indigenous Peoples Project. It says, it looks like, I think our last meeting, some people had just gotten back from this tour. It says October of 2024, and there'll be other various dates. It takes place in Plymouth, Mass, and various other locations. The Revere Human Rights Commission seeks to embark upon a tour of Indigenous history and what we know as Massachusetts, and later share this. Embarking from Revere, commissioners, students, and City Hall representatives will visit Plymouth Pawtuxet Museums, Tidmarsh Sanctuary, and experience the benefits from learning about and several sacred local Native American practices. The commission seeks to record their tour as an experience to later share it with the community and reflect on it and circle practice. Through this practice, the commission seeks to better educate the community and share this historical information about a group that has been most marginalized and politicized in our society. The commission seeks to preserve, elevate, and celebrate Indigenous practices and traditions. This is all in special consideration of Indigenous Peoples Day and Indigenous Peoples Heritage Month. They're asking for $7,000, which is also their budget. I'm on the fence with this one, so I'd like to hear other people's perspectives before I make a decision.
I say no, because like you said, Rocky, this was something that people came to the chambers and they told us about kind of after, so it seems a little bit retroactive. The only difference here is that they're videotaping it or they're documenting their journey. So they went the first time, they got it, and they want to kind of document that learning thing. So it's something that actually takes place outside of Revere. Indigenous people, it's necessary to educate people in Indigenous beliefs, cultures, practice, but in immediacy, I've gone around Revere. There's not too many indigenous people from those tribes here. Not to say that there shouldn't be an education from outside on a culture that does not exist here, but I think that our cultural, our kind of thing is to kind of build on the cultures that are here, not to kind of build on the culture that is not here unless it's a historical lesson. So I am saying no to this because it's something pretty much it's being documented for outside. If they were to go and Revere and find out Indian burial grounds or something, that's a different story.
I'm a yes partial on this initiative, as it's helping to also bring Revere High School students and community members to participate. And I would love clarification as to how they plan to share it with the community. Is this something that's going to be shared on Revere TV once the videos are produced? I would love to know that. But yeah, I'm yes partial.
For me, this was a no personally. The way that they have described it, where I believe that they're like educating in circle form from their visit, I'm not sure if that's like, I think that there's better ways to approach education than that format for me personally. I think that there's possibly better ways. I think that it would be different if there were people that were outside of this commission that were engaging in this. Like, I think if it was a larger, like more youth-based event, that might be different. But where it's a commission where I believe that the city already, I could be wrong, but I think
This is partially retroactive, so they'd be reporting or going back to the same location. Is what my understanding of it is.
Yeah, I don't know where the 7,000 came from. So maybe that's my job to look at the budget for a
I'm
second.
looking at the budget and by looking at the budget and listening to the council, this is a no for me. I think we've already discussed videotaping something else and saying possibly no to that. And this is, a similar but different project because it's a different culture. The reason that I'm on the fence is because I do appreciate the indigenous culture, and I think, this is a large Italian population that now has to adjust to the new name of a holiday. So I think providing resources and programming that gives context to that is really important. So that's why I'm back and forth on it, but like looking at how this is laid out and listening to you, I think I'm gonna go with a no.
And once again, Rocky had a disclaimer for the other thing. We were introduced to these three people that took the tour or kind of pushing this proposal or written this proposal, however you want to say it. So my disclaimer is that I know them well, or reasonably well from how they've introduced themselves in the chambers. So it's a different connect. So if we're giving them an opportunity to come to chambers and talk about their proposal or where they've gone, we need to have other people coming into chambers and telling what they have. That's a unique opportunity. We do invite anybody to come in here and kind of defend their proposal or kind of ask us questions about the proposal or how we vote or how we're trying to vote. That is part of my indecision on this no vote, is these three people have shown up and they're the only ones who've been having the opportunity to come because they simply are involved in the community already.
I'm a no.
Okay, I'll go. Application number 22 is from the Revere Public Library, and the amount requested is $3,199. The project title is Cultural Events for Revere Public Library, estimated to serve 300 Revere residents. It will take place after out of school with serving 225 youths. So the summary: it will consist of 4 culturally enriching programs designed to engage the community, including 2 celebrations, the Day of the Dead and Cinco de Mayo, for all ages, celebrating heritage, cultural traditions, and education for community. These events will include music, performances, crafts, and food, promoting cultural appreciation and community participation. An adult and senior bilingual storytime event offering bilingual storytelling sessions focusing on cultural preservation, language accessibility, and fostering social connections within the community. An interactive safari-themed story time for children designed to promote early literacy while introducing participants to diverse cultural narratives through imaginative tales. These programs together aim to promote cultural education, inclusivity, and community engagement across various age groups and cultural backgrounds in our community. This is a yes for me.
This is a yes from me. I will disclose that I know this person, but I don't think that that impedes my impartiality. I've seen the library come to the high school on multiple different occasions, and they do a lot of great work at the library, from my understanding. So this was a yes. And I also think that their budget was pretty neat.
I have to abstain because I am a librarian. I've gone to Revere Public Library. I know them by face, but I'm connected to the subject and stuff, so that might make me biased. So it's a maybe, but I have to disclose that. Day of the Dead, we do have a strong Latin American-based or Hispanic-based population. So bringing out that programming is good for people who don't know about it. But at the same time, my caveat is that this programming is available all over the place. So it does bring it, one point of view is it brings it into the community. The other point of view is that other libraries in the area have this program, museums have this program. So should we be encouraging people to go a little bit further to see it or closer? And then, like I said, I'm a librarian, so yes, I'm in favor of this program in practice, theory, and all sides of things. But then again, I am a librarian. So, like I said, it's the closeness to the subject matter might be biased or kind of give bias to it.
I'm a yes.
Yes.
This was from info at Cubic. It's Youth in Action. The project is scheduled to take place from November to April 2025. Youth in Action will be conducted in a hybrid format, some virtual workshops and in-person seminars in Revere and East Boston. Youth in Action is a youth empowerment initiative designed to foster leadership and entrepreneurship among immigrant youth in Revere. In partnership with local Latinx entrepreneurs and community organizations, the project offers creative workshops, cultural affirmation arts, and business education. Participants will learn to create or sell traditional Latino crafts while gaining key entrepreneurial skills. YIA runs during winter and spring, utilizing after-school hours for productive, culturally enriching activities. The initiative will culminate in an entrepreneurship fair featuring Latin music and arts where youth can showcase and sell their creations, fostering community engagement and cultural pride. Following the success of the program's first edition, this second aims to impact more youth and connect entrepreneurs and SBO. With a budget of $5,000 involving other community members, and then it stops there.
I'd be open to a partial, and reasoning behind that is the hybrid approach. One, we are favoring live events, so I would need a little bit more detail. And then, you know, I'm from East Boston, so full disclosure, that doesn't dissuade me, but it's not just in Revere.
I also support a partial grant for a lot of the same reasons. I think I completely echo what you said, Rocky.
I'm gonna say a partial as well. I think it really just depends on, for me, how many are virtual and how many are in person. If it's more virtual, then it would be a no for me, but where they do say that they have some in person, then it's a partial.
I had the same feelings. I said no because I thought that the way that it was worded it was more of a digital experience than a live action thing. Not to say that a digital experience is any worse or better, but my priorities are things that take place, and that the more emphasis is on the in place than out of place.
I would like further clarification from this applicant as to how many of these in-person sessions will be in Revere, as we can only allocate money for Revere initiatives.
I think it's me, right? So we're on number 23. Number 23, are we on number 23? 24, okay. Sorry, 23 is just my favorite number. Submitted by Laura Sanchez. The project is titled Welcome to Holland in Spanish. This is at the Chelsea Theater Works. Welcome to Holland is a theatrical experience that combines flamenco, poetry, humor, and film to celebrate caregivers. The audience embarks on the journey of an immigrant mother as she navigates her Holland, a life transformed by trauma. This performance features creative elements such as turning wheelchairs into spaceships and flamenco dancing in Dutch shoes, challenging stereotypes surrounding motherhood and disability while fostering empathy for diverse family experiences. The world premiere of Welcome to Holland in Spanish will take place at the Chelsea Theater Works in the fall of 2025, with various performance times, including morning and early afternoon slots to accommodate caregivers. A special multi-sensory space will be available for children to explore while caregivers enjoy the show in the junior space. Childcare will be offered. The budget is $16,519, and they're asking for $5,000. It's in Chelsea, so I think it's a no from me.
It was a no for me as well. I think it sends, I haven't seen the play. I don't know anybody who's seen the play. It's described as, Spanish with Holland. Are we serving the community? Is it more Dutch-oriented? Why is the price tag there? The Chelsea Theater Group is a great little kind of theater group, but I said it's sending a mixed cultural message based on that description. The spaceships and building and all that stuff is great, but like I said, it's a mixed kind of metaphor. Are we really mixing those things? So Revere has a great Latin American component to it. As far as Dutch, I'm not sure.
This one was a no for me as well. And just a time check, we have 7 applications left to go through, and we have only about 20 minutes left in the chambers. Savannah, do you mind reading application 25?
Not at all, and I'm a no for that one as well. 25, here we go. This is for a project titled Plein Air Painting at Public Gardens, amount requested $5,200. It is projected to take place at Boston Public Gardens. I'm only going to give a brief overview. This program will provide opportunity for advanced course art studies to paint on-site at Boston Public Gardens. Students will be provided tools necessary, provide ample time to complete multiple artworks, and participate in a garden tour led by Boston Public Garden volunteers. While this is happening in Boston, it's meant to serve Revere as they include bus transportation fee. However, I'm putting this as a no because it's not happening in Revere.
I can get on board with a no.
I'm going to not vote for this, but just for clarification, this is for schools. The reason that I'm abstaining is because this person works at the high school.
I said yes based on the project idea. I treated this like a field trip. So it's a field trip there. Can these people not use the bus and go by T, and if the price tag goes down considerably? I didn't mean to rhyme, but there it is. So I said yes to the project. The question is, can it be done a little bit more effectively? In the Boston Common, I've been there. It's a beautiful place. You want to get people from a community to another community doing something that introduces them to that community, as well as finding their community within themselves. You don't have to be in your community to experience your community. You can find parts of it all around.
I was a yes with the partial grant. I agree with the point that it's like a field trip for the high school students. And I think with the precedent that we've set, that we've voted yes on pretty much all the field trips so far, I'm just following that.
I could get on board with a partial grant, so we could put that as a maybe.
All right. This one is the Wheelock Family Theater Field Trip with Susan B. Anthony Middle School. Students in the year-long drama elective class from grades 7 and 8, 21 students total, are going to attend a student matinee at Wheelock Family Theater as part of their learning unit on dramatic criticism in order to expose students to high-quality professional live theater at the local cultural institution. The field trip will coincide with the learning unit, which is a culmination of the year-long learning about drama. Additionally, the trip will serve to connect them to local cultural organizations and practice social norms / theater etiquette in a professional setting with other drama enthusiastic students. They're asking for 1,000. This one was a yes for me.
Yes.
Yes.
I would just like to point out to the committee, we have a Wheelock Family Theater. It's a different school altogether, but it's the nature of the price tag. So one school is going to Wheelock Theater and is asking for 2,000, one is asking for 1,000. Those are kind of some considerations when it comes down to the line. How much?
That was for 80 students, the 2,000. This is for 21 students and 2 chaperones.
Like I said, it's who it serves. So one serving 80, and said if you double the number, you get 40, and you get to about the same thing. The theater program is a little bit different that they're going to. It's younger kids get a shorter program, whereas older kids might get a longer program. I like the field trip idea. I like the theater idea. It's all coming down, so it's a maybe for me based on everything else that's going on. Susan B. Anthony is an artistic school, and they embrace the arts, and I really love the idea. It's just that's the consideration that I have in the back of my mind.
It's a yes for me.
Yes.
All right. I voted yes. Okay, I'm just making, they're blending together now. All right, we are number 27. This was offered by the Delvania Theater Company, based out of Lynn. The project is a Christmas Carol, a dramatic reading, and this looks like it's scheduled for next week. Actually, no, 2025, so it's a year from now. A dramatic reading, including scenes of A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, complete with period costumes by a narrator and 2 other actors. Watch in fascination as Marley comes back from the dead to help Scrooge amend his miserly. I think we all know what a Christmas Carol is. There'll be Christmas music. I'm trying to look at the different things. And discussion with the audience following the performance. It's at the Rossetti Cowan Senior Center. I'm not familiar with that. That's in Revere.
It's in Revere and Winthrop Ave.
Okay, then I know exactly where it is, actually. I just didn't know what the name of it is. They're asking for $695. I'm a yes.
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 Possibly, maybe. I like the Christmas Carol, but it's all over the place. And I know the Delvany Theater, it's a great theater, it's a great program. It all has to do with, as our mission statement as a team to bring in new experiences or something that's been done. So like I said, you can see it on TV, you can go to North Shore Music Circus, you go to any one of the theaters that's producing it around that time, independently or the group. So that's kind of what I'm maybe, not the price tag, not the experience, but just all that kind of thing, surrounding areas. So it's a strong maybe.
I think we have 3 yeses, though, yes. All right. Savannah, back to you.
Okay, on number 28, it is the same applicant, the Delvana Theater Company, same amount, $695. The project title is None of This and None of That, to take place on June 2nd in 2025 at the Rossetti Cowan Adult Senior Center on Winthrop Avenue. It's an interactive live comedy featuring 2 actresses. Now is the time for the 50th class reunion of St. Bartholomew's Parochial School. The sisters are excited to meet their former student from class of 1957. The audience members, of course, are the reunion attendees. A good time will be had by all reminiscing about the old days and catching up with everyone. It's a fun, lighthearted comedy. Yes.
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 Hard yes.
Maybe, strong maybe. This is the Delvany Theater Group. They do a lot, so are they going to, this is 2 programs. I've looked at their programs. They do programs in Winthrop. The Cultural Committee supports them. I'm not sure of the program or if they, like, people from Revere could go see it in Winthrop. So it's kind of those, that's the kind of maybe that I draw to it, is the nature of the program. You see the price tag is the exact same, so it's kind of a cookie cutter. So we're getting that different show, same price tag, so it's the same value. So we'll see, you know, in terms of funding, that's 2 programs by them or 2 by the same thing. So are we better served by having multiple organizations, multiple proposals? That's where I'm at with this.
I'd also like to point out that for both Delvana applications, we do have a letter from the director of Revere Council of Elder Affairs, Deb Petska, who is kindly asking for this to be considered strongly, as they've had them in the past. And she states, I quote, "I believe the show would be of particular interest to our seniors and would provide for a unique and entertaining show for them. They have been extremely well received by the audience at the Senior Center in the past. We look forward to hosting them again."
I think the like what, because I think to share Joe's, you know, we're giving 2 to 1 group, the interactive and the subject matter, I think a lot of the people that probably reside there can relate to it. I don't know if any of you have ever gone to an interactive show where the nun, like, I mean, where they, like, they teach you like you're in the school. Those are really pretty good. Plus, I don't think that we've done enough for seniors yet, if we're thinking about some of the yeses, unless my mind is going there. So saying yes to that also factored into my decision-making, is that I don't think we have as many proposals that focus on that.
So I think I hear 4 yeses. I'm gonna go ahead and move on. We got 3 left in about 10 minutes. This one is for.
Speed round.
Yep, speed round. This is at the Hill Elementary School. The Hill School Drama Club is seeking funding for the royalty and the material fees to produce Newsies Junior for 4th and 5th graders at the Hill Elementary School. Our drama club has been in existence for over 20 years, first at the Old McKinley and now at the Hill School. We provide a robust musical theater experience for students after school 2 days a week for an hour and a half each day over the course of 15 weeks, concluding in two after-school performances open to the general public. The total expenses are $1,040, and that's how much they're asking.
Yes.
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 Moving on to number 30. It is sent in by John Waterman of Haverhill, Massachusetts. The project is Live Music Making History Live. It will be held to be determined in Revere. Live Music Making History Live is a series of programs that use original songs and arrangements to inspire enthusiasm about and a desire to explore history. They are designed for libraries, senior centers, and other venues. There are 4 programs. First, A Journey Through Roots of American Popular Music explores characters and events at the origins of the blues, rock, and country music. Cro-Magnon Blues, History and Legends Through Song, explores characters and events from ancient Sumner to present day, the first known author in epic medieval battle, a famed radio broadcast, and more. The third, The Railroad in Song, explores the railroad in U.S. history through songs, includes the work of Chinese and Irish workers, the Great Migration, and more. Popular Music and Veterans explores and honors the experiences of veterans throughout U.S. history, songs history, and a slideshow alongside some related popular music. The ask is for $400, which is also the budget. It's a small ask. I think we just need clarification on what the venue would be like, but I do think it is a worthwhile project, so I'd be a yes.
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 Yes. Okay, final application number 31. The project title, The Theft of Dignity, a free public presentation for Revere. The amount requested is $680 to take place from now through September of 2025. The presentation will take place at the library or in another public venue within Revere, estimated to serve 250 people. The theft of dignity is often presented in schools and was originally designed to speak exclusively to teenagers about peer bullying. However, this community-based version is open to all ages. This presentation offers a valuable opportunity for anyone in the community to learn about bullying. Parents of bullied children in particular will find it especially enlightening and will walk away feeling more empowered. The theft of dignity explores what bullying is, where it originates, and how to address it effectively. The presentation examines these issues through examples of popular culture, including movies, TV shows, and novels, including his own novel, On Your Side. The Theft of Dignity is about fostering a more respectful, inclusive community for teenagers.
No, I think that the kids are hit over the head with this bullying issue. And secondly, he's pushing his book, his product. I'm sure it's a great book, but it's kind of on those two premises alone. I have to say, no, the price tag is right, but we hear enough about bullying, and no matter how many programs you do in the community for bullying, it's still going to exist to some extent. And I hate to say that, but I don't think it serves our purposes.
I'm a yes. I personally really like the fact that parents are also invited. I'm sure that as a parent, that can be a very isolating experience of having a child that's being bullied. So I'm a yes. I think it sounds like a good program.
This one was a maybe for me, mostly just because of the nature of the product, where it's like the way that it's described as a presentation was a little bit interesting for me, because I feel like it kind of goes back and forth. It kind of goes like waves on the line of being hybrid or being virtual. I know that this author is there. And they're kind of delving into it, but the presentation seems kind of like an interesting word for that.
I would go with maybe and see where we are with funds.
I'm a yes.
So we have 2 yeses, 2 maybes, or 3 maybes?
Do we consider maybes as half C yeses? So there's that 3 yeses?
Mine was a no.
Yours was a no.
Yeah.
So well, I'll label it as yellow. Okay. All right. And that's every application at this point.
Okay, so now we have all the applications are in. Can we just have a summary basically of a yes, maybe count? So we kind of, for those of us that might have got it at the end, tuning in at the end of our program. And then before we bang the gavel.
I can go ahead. I will count up all the maybes, all the yeses, and all the nos. In the meantime, there was just one other agenda item that was submitted about the Miss Revere Beach proposal, if you want to give an
Yeah,
update.
I'll just give a quick update. I was in communication with a member of the Revere Beach Partnership. They are interested in our proposal to hold the Mr. and Miss Revere Beach pageant at the Sand Sculpture Festival in July. So it was just an initial ask to give us a couple of hours during the entertainment portion, use of their facilities, including dressing areas, and obviously we would have sound, lights, all that. So hopefully at the next meeting I'll have more of an update, but they were interested, and when I get more information, I will share it. So that's where
There
we are.
was one last thing. We did go a little fast towards the end, so for all those of you proposal, on behalf of myself, I can't speak for the whole committee. It does not mean that we thought any greater or lesser. It's just that we could deliberate faster. We do not have a set time limit on each proposal, so that was just kind of something I'd like to get out there and off my chest.
Okay. So I could have very easily counted this wrong. This was just very speedy. I believe that there were 3 no's in total, and then the rest were actually half split between maybes or partials and yeses.
So the next tier of business in the next meeting, one of the agenda items would be to deliberate in charge of that second tier of like funding, and whether some of those maybes would become yeses or possibly nos.
So, and just to kind of add on to that, I think that in the next meeting, we'll actually allocate that money allocate those amounts and make sure that those totals add up. When we do input this, our amount available for granting does need to add up to the amount that we are granting out. And the system will do it. If we find that there's an issue, once we input it in the system, we'll have probably like an online meeting, just maybe rediscussing those amounts.
The other thing is a disclaimer. I kind of want to say to the public who doesn't know how this council operates. If we have, let's say, 40,000 for grants, it does not mean that the total amount will be spent 40,000 on the grants. We do have a little bit of things like maybe for publicity payments or a banner that said Miss Revere Beach. We wouldn't have the day, and then we'd say sponsored by Mass Cultural Association, some sort of thing like that that we can use at the following thing if it's an ongoing event, or we could bring from across town to say entertainment sponsored by the Cultural Committee.
Are there any other orders of business that anyone needs to talk about? All right. I'm gonna go.
Seeing no further business, I motion for adjournment.
Yeah.
Second, third, fourth.
Second, third, and fourth. Have a good night.